Have you ever noticed how different your mind feels after standing quietly beneath trees for 10 minutes? Or hearing a piece of music at exactly the right moment? Or watching sunlight spill through a window across a silent room? Or seeing the sky turn gold just before evening arrives? Why does that affect us so deeply? Why do humans stop and stare at sunsets? Why do certain songs make us cry? Why does candlelight feel comforting? Why do flowers soften people? Why do humans fill walls with art, build beautiful buildings, write poetry, plant gardens, light fires, decorate homes, tell stories, and search endlessly for moments of awe? Because human beings do not survive on logic alone. We also survive on beauty. And honestly, I think modern life has made many people forget that. We live in a world now that constantly prioritizes speed, productivity, noise, consumption, algorithms, performance, efficiency, and endless stimulation. Everything is optimized, measured, monetized, compressed, faster, 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 and slowly. Many humans have become emotionally starved without even realizing it. Not starving for luxury, not starving for status, starving for beauty, real beauty, the kind that nourishes the nervous system, the kind that makes the soul exhale, the kind that reminds humans they are more than machines endlessly moving from task to task. Because beauty does something profound to the human mind. It slows us down. That matters more than people realize. When humans encounter beauty genuinely, for a brief moment, the internal noise softens. The mind stops racing. The nervous system pauses. Attention returns to the present moment. And maybe that is why beauty feels almost spiritual sometimes. Not because beauty itself is magical, but because it reconnects humans to presence, to awe, to stillness, to something larger than constant survival. And honestly, I think exhausted humans often underestimate how deeply environment affects the body. The nervous system absorbs atmosphere constantly. Lighting, sound, color, texture, clutter, nature, architecture, music, energy. Humans are deeply affected by what surrounds them. That is why certain places feel calming immediately, and others feel draining instantly. A quiet forest affects the body differently than a loud motorway. A warm, softly lit room affects the nervous system differently than harsh fluorescent lighting. A peaceful home affects humans differently than chaotic environments filled with tension. Beauty is not superficial decoration. Beauty is regulation. That is important, because humans often feel guilty for needing softness, as though beauty is frivolous, as though caring about atmosphere is weakness, as though art, music, nature, poetry, or aesthetics are somehow less important than real life. But honestly, beauty has always been part of human survival. Always. Even ancient humans surrounded themselves with symbols, stories, music, ritual, paintings, carvings, jewelry, firelight, and ceremony. Why? Because the human soul naturally reaches toward meaning, toward expression, toward wonder, toward moments that make existence feel more alive. Humans do not only want to survive life, they want to feel life, and beauty helps us do that. I think that is why grief often changes the way humans experience beauty too. After suffering deeply, people begin noticing smaller things. The warmth of tea, rain against windows, birdsong, a dog sleeping peacefully nearby, a familiar voice, the smell of fresh bread, the quietness of morning. Because pain strips away illusion sometimes. It reminds humans how precious ordinary moments actually are. And honestly, some of the most beautiful moments in life are incredibly small, not dramatic, not expensive, not impressive online, just real. A child laughing in another room, music playing softly while the world sleeps, the sky changing colors slowly, a candle flickering in silence, a hand resting on yours. Tiny moments, Yet humans remember those moments for years because beauty creates emotional imprinting. It anchors memory. That is why people can hear one song and suddenly remember an entire season of life, or smell something familiar and instantly return emotionally to childhood. Beauty bypasses logic. It speaks directly to the nervous system. And maybe that is why modern humans feel so emotionally exhausted sometimes. Because many environments today are deeply overstimulating, but emotionally empty. Constant information, constant noise, constant distraction, constant urgency, yet very little nourishment, very little awe, very little stillness, very little beauty. And the nervous system feels that absence deeply. Humans were never designed to spend all day staring at glowing rectangles while disconnected from nature, silence, creativity, slowness, and real human presence. Something inside us knows this. You can feel it. The exhaustion, the disconnection, the emotional dryness. And perhaps that is why so many people are beginning to crave simpler things again. Gardens, candles, books, nature walks, meaningful spaces, slow mornings, music, art, quietness, warm lighting, homemade food, conversation, presence. Not because humans are going backwards, but because the nervous system is trying to remember what nourishment feels like. That is very different. And honestly, I think beauty becomes even more important during difficult times, not less important. Because beauty reminds humans that life is still worth participating in even when the world feels heavy. A flower growing through concrete, sunlight after storms, music during heartbreak, laughter during grief. These things matter profoundly. They help humans psychologically survive difficult seasons. And no, beauty does not erase pain, but it softens the sharpest edges of existence sometimes. It reminds humans there is still something good here. That matters enormously, especially for exhausted minds. And maybe that is why humans instinctively try to make spaces feel comforting. We light candles, arrange flowers, play music, decorate homes, open curtains for sunlight, collect objects that feel meaningful. Humans are constantly trying to create emotional atmosphere because atmosphere shapes inner experience. And honestly, some homes feel emotionally cold even when they are expensive, while other homes feel deeply peaceful despite having very little. Because beauty is not always about money. Sometimes beauty is attention, presence, care, warmth, meaning, intentionality. What is beautiful to you? A place, a sound, a song, a season, a memory, a moment? Leave it below if you feel called. And if you know someone who has forgotten how important beauty is for the soul, maybe send this to them. And if you'd like to join us for more conversations like this, feel free to gently tap the subscribe button and become part of the Valkyrie 338 community. As always, this has been Valkyrie. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others.